Hi guys, what is going on? Thanks for stopping by. Welcome to my channel where I focus on free-to-play and PvE progression. Guys, just a quick one here today. I wasn't planning on making a video at all, but this seems to be a pretty decent strategy. Xenomorph and Mikey being able to do Spider Stage 20 at the very least. It's going to get harder over time, and I'll exactly explain why I feel like this might be especially hard to do it with this kind of team composition, but it can definitely do higher stages of Spider as well, 24, 25. I'm not sure about hard though. I've heard that there are some shenanigans, some weird stuff going on that the Infest doesn't really work on hard. For whatever reason, it doesn't really make sense, and it doesn't say anything about that in the debuff, but we'll have to see if Plarium thinks about fixing that or just leaving it as it is, because I feel like if it doesn't do hard, then it isn't doing what it tells us that the Infest debuff is doing, you know? Alright, getting sidetracked like crazy here before the video has even started. Sorry guys. So before I go into the mechanics of the run, I do have to shout out Jeff, who04G, who commented down below one of my last videos and said, hey man, I'm using this strategy, it's really great, it unlocks Spider 20 for me. And so I realized, you know, it's obviously this can be very impactful for anybody who doesn't have HP burn or any other way to kill the Spider. So I thought, well, it's an important video, I should definitely do this. So thanks Jeff, honestly, for, posting below my video, because it motivated me to make this video here today. So here we have Xenomorph and then we have Mikey. The principle is pretty easy. We have the Infest debuff, we spread it with Mikey. Both of them attack the boss on auto, so you just have to make Xenomorph faster than Mikey. And the Infest debuff is going to be spread, and then we just have to look for survivability in order to survive the run, because it won't suffice to just spread the Infest debuff once. We'll have to spread it a couple of times. It's very much like it is with HP burn. With HP burn though, we have the advantage that we can either, if we have just a pure HP burner, we just need to bring one champion who does the damage, and then we can just bring 4 supports, just keeping you alive. And the HP burner is going to take care of the spider and the spiderlings kind of as well. In this case here, however, we do need to bring Mikey to spread the stuff, we do need to bring Xenomorph to bring the Infest, and then we also need to bring some damage. Because for this to work, we need to kill the spiderlings actually. And that can be a bit of a problem, because we need to do a lot of things at the same time. So there's 2 ways that I see that we can go about this. Xenomorph, Mikey, and then we bring supports for survivability, but we do need to look out that we bring enough damage as well, like I said. Or we bring Xenomorph and Mikey and bring turn meter manipulation in order to manipulate the spiderlings and the spider and make sure that they don't take a turn, because the advantage over HP burn is that the spiderlings don't need to take turns. It doesn't matter if they take a turn. We just need to kill them. And so CC is going to be very useful here as well, but bringing damage alongside is also going to be pretty nice. So I'm not too sad about the fact that I have to bring Mikey for the spread, because he also brings damage. I think the third person, the third free champion that's going to be really strong here is going to be Yakal. He can bring you damage, he can bring you CC, he can slow down the big spider, and that's about it. But I think that's enough, you know? So he brings everything that you kind of need. Controlling the spider, controlling the spiderlings, and bringing you damage in order to kill the spiderlings. And with the rest of the champions here, Deacon and Gom Yellowhand, I just went for the control. You probably don't need Yakal, Gom, and Deacon all in your team. You could bring, 1 or 2 of them, and then more survivability and more healing on your team, for example. But it really depends. This needs further testing, and unfortunately I don't have the time to do this today, tomorrow, or the day after tomorrow. I'm pretty booked, if we wanna call it that. So this is the team. In terms of the presets, the things that we need to look out for is Xenomorph, 234 speed, being faster than Mikey. That's a big thing here, of course. I have actually turned off the A3 so that whilst he does not have the Infest up, he just places poisons on the spider. Just some extra damage. I think that's pretty nice. He isn't crit capped because I just put this build together very quickly. His accuracy is too low. We need 240. However, Mikey bringing us the accuracy aura makes the 180 here all right. I don't have Xenomorph booked. It's on a 4-turn cooldown, and that is something that I would definitely recommend if you guys are looking for a way to make this your regular method to kill the spider. because that would mean that Mikey has his A2 on a 3-turn cooldown. If you have him booked as well, by the way, you could. If you don't have this booked, if this is on a 4-turn, then that's great. The thing that I'm trying to say here is get both of the A2s here from Mikey and from Xenomorph on the same cooldown, and that is going to mean that they are always going to use it just after each other. Xenomorph placing it, Mikey spreading it. Alright, Mikey then going in with Shell Cyclone for the damage afterwards. So I've told Yakal to start out with his A2. He isn't booked either. I have a lot of unbooked champions on my account because I'm now free to play, and I've, you know, bought I think 4 legendary tomes during the whole duration of this account, so I don't have too many legendary tomes. So I told Yakal to use his A2 first. It is possible, or as an opener, and then to use the AoE freeze as the first skill, as the first priority. It is possible that this isn't the greatest idea, however, I feel like this should work pretty well together with Gom using his AoE stun first as well, and then Deacon trying to turn me to control the spiderlings. And so I'm hoping that we have enough control here to control the spiderlings whilst taking our time to dish out some damage. Like I said, this is just a kind of a second try. I haven't tried this team. I have tried another team before which worked, but it wasn't all that free to play. I had to Tora Rhymehyde in there and some other champions. Alright, let's leave this on auto. The spiderlings are being spawned. The Infest debuff should be placed first. No, Gom first stunning everybody. 2 resists there, which I absolutely don't understand. Gom should have enough accuracy, right? And the accuracy aura should help. Infest debuff is placed, and Mikey spreads that. It is possible. There is always that 3% chance that Infest is going to be resisted. So we do need to be a bit careful about that and really make sure our team has the ability to go all the way. You know, just not be, you know, just survive the whole fight, and then slowly but surely we'll take the enemy down with the Infest. So let's see when the first damage here is coming in. Mikey already did his AoE from what I saw. Yakal also did that. This is a bit unfortunate now. We don't have a lot of champions bringing us AoEs on this team, which is going to mean, like, they are all crowd controlled, which is great. Actually, like, it's overdoing it in terms of crowd control a bit, because we have the stun and the freeze at the same time, but Gom should be back with his stun relatively quickly here. But the big thing here is we don't have a lot of AoE damage on this team, except for Mikey. Alright, there's the damage coming in. The spread from Mikey, spreading the poison, is actually a pretty nice thing as well. I didn't think about that in the beginning, but it can really help you to take down the spiderlings. So we still have the Infest debuff up. So I said, actually this is also interesting. I said that it would be nice if they both, Mikey and Xenomorph, had very similar cooldowns on the A2. Or the same cooldown on the A2 if possible. But if you bring enough control, you control the spider as well, and that means the Infest debuff is going to be up there all the time. So this team feels pretty alright so far, unless we get to a point where the spiderlings are able to take too many turns, because Gom and Yakal here have their AoE CC abilities on cooldown at the same time. That would be a bit unfortunate. I'm hoping for a Mikey spread here again, because the spiderlings are getting a bit low here. And it would be a wasted opportunity to kill spiderlings. There we go. A lot of poisons. And the spiderlings killing each other with the Infest. And you can see the spider really ticking down here. Alright, so this team feels pretty safe. I do have to say it would be even safer if Yakal was booked again. Alright, so this is interesting. Quite a few things I found out here. Xenomorph's A1 with the poisons being great on the spider, them being spread is great. Yakal being booked would be greater, and it doesn't really matter. If you bring turn meter control for the spider, then it doesn't really matter if Xenomorph isn't booked. This is really great, and this should be like a roundabout 4-minute run. Not the best, but it works. And by the way, Xenomorph bringing True Fear as well. Also pretty nice. Just giving you an extra chance to crowd control the spiderlings, if I'm not mistaken here, right? Alright. So guys, I think that's it for this run. Do see what kind of champions you have. Like I said, if you have Mikey and Xenomorph, I think Yakal is going to be very strong here. But the other two champions are a bit flex, like definitely heal like I said, turn meter reduction, crowd control, stuff like that. That's it for the video, guys. I hope this helps some of you. Like, that was actually, it's quite fun to see when the spiderlings explode and then the spider takes so much damage here. That's it for this video. I hope this helps some of you guys. Spider is always a place that, you know, can kind of keep us, that can hold us back in Raid Shadow Legends. So I think this is pretty nice. And another use for Xenomorph, and a pretty good one. Guys, like I said, I think this is now the 3rd time I've said it. That's it for the video. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.